Hello guys, I'm going to be showing you how to make another editing tutorial, or how to make an edit, sorry. This video I'm going to be more in depth and like show you how to do more shading and like more way better highlights than my last video, because I've seemed to improved a lot more since my last video. So we're going to be using this picture right here, or this pose right here. I do have another video on how to do angles like this if you want to check that out also, but I'm going to take a picture of this right now. So how to do that is you press Shift 8, which does a little star symbol. You put high res no BG, which is high res no background. I'll put it in the description this time. I noticed I didn't put it in my last videos, so I'll do that now on this video. So now we get the picture that we just took, like so. So here's the picture. Let me zoom. Let me go up a bit more. Let me do it a bit closer, like that. So there we go. We'll do a close up instead. It's a bit too far, that one. Like that. It's a lot better. So we get rid of this. Okay, there we go. So, like in my last video, you had to make new layers above your main picture. So we'll rename that to main picture. And then we'll rename this to soft light shading. And then we'll name this one shadows. Because the difference between soft light shading and, you know, the shadows, with soft light, it makes it like the skin tone darker. So for example, if we wanted to make this part here darker, like a darker version of the skin tone, it will make it a darker version of the skin tone, like so. But obviously, as I'm not using my drawing pad, it's kind of made it too dark. So obviously with a drawing pad and with like pen pressure and all that on Photoshop, if I just, you know, gently draw across, it will lightly change the color. We don't want to do too much. And also you can play with the opacity map, not the opacity map, sorry, the opacity of the layer. So if it's too hard here, you can just lower the opacity to where it suits you, which is probably what I would prefer to do. So if you made the flow like 100%, so as soon as you press on it, it's going to be the hardest it can be, like that, and then you just play with the opacity until it looks right, like so. So that's what soft light does, which I like to do also, as well as the black shadows. So with this, obviously I lower the opacity. We'll do 50 for now, and then, you know, draw the shadows like that. So doing both just makes it a little bit better. And obviously to link these two together, yeah, so there's two ways of doing this. In my last video I said to hold Alt and then click between the layers, but you can also click on this layer here, right click, and then go to create clipping mask, which would do that for you. But the shortcut is to hold Alt and then click in between the layers, which I preferably do. I don't right click and click on that. So that's basically that. And obviously you want to make some more layers, such as, so you got the soft light shading, the shadows, the highlight, which I like to use overlay for my highlight, which makes it like a way brighter version, like that, like a shiny version like that. But obviously you can play with the opacity maps and stuff, because it completely changes the skin tone. So obviously you have to do the drawing in order to change that. And then what I do like to do also on my main picture is, you see like on the edges here, they're a bit squared and sharp. I like to just, you know, gently rub those out with the eraser tool, just to make it seem more smooth and less like cartoony, I guess you could say. And just make them a lot more smoother, like here, for example. To make it more round instead of it being squared, which I like to do in a lot of my edits. But obviously in this tutorial I'm not going to show you how to do, everything I do for my edits. Like I said in my last video, I don't want people to copy or have edits that look like mine. I still want to be unique in a sense, in my own way. So obviously you guys can experiment differently with, the shading tutorial and do your own things and like be unique and stuff like that and whatnot. But I'm just going to show you obviously how I do my shading, and then you guys can go on from there. So I just, smoothen the edges no matter where it is. Like smoothing it. Like so. So we kind of smoothened it a bit. There's still some more places to, smoothen out or make more circles, so it kind of looks way better like that. It looks more round. So I'm going to add a background just to help with where I should put my lighting or like my highlights and stuff like that. I know that this is an angled picture, but I'm literally just going to do a technique that I do to make the background like not detailed like how it is here. I'm sorry if I'm sniffing again, it's because like I'm not very well still. I've still got a bit of a cold. So let's do that. And then you guys don't have to do this. This is just a whole part of where I should shade and where I shouldn't shade. So for example, with the soft light shading, as there's light coming from behind, I'm going to most likely be, shading around the middle part of the body and like on the inner side of the arm here, because light's going to be coming from around. So you can just like mess about there with the soft light shading, just to make it look more detailed or more like a drawing in a sense on the skin. So you can just like mess around with that. For like example, you can just put the parts that are dark and just make them a bit darker, like so. It's like on the nose and the eye bit here, below here. A bit there as well. And obviously if you want to make it a bit higher, like the opacity map a bit higher, you can do, so I'll do 50. And then here's the normal shadows that I will lower because they are a bit too dark. And then, you just put it where you think shadows should be. And as it's coming from behind, the head shadow will be on the shoulder, like this. And you can make it seem like, let me just turn it down a bit, it's a bit too high. And obviously I can add other shadow, layers to make darker shadows, which I will be doing. So for example, I'll put darker shadows here, darker shadows where the head shadow should be, but not crazy dark, just a little bit darker than the actual layer itself, for example like this. So it's not too much of a difference, there's just a slight difference. And then you can go over some of the dark parts that you think should be darker. Like so. And do it like that a bit more. There we go. Okay, so I did some changes. Added like another layer, which I won't show how I did, but because this video only contains lighting. And then obviously I changed the background a bit to where it's like, you know, just how it is there. So it doesn't look like a real image, just some lights to have in the background and whatnot, just to make it look cool, I guess. So we'll continue with the shadows. Obviously you want to add shadows on the bottoms as well, not just the top. So we'll add some light shadows on here. Because obviously as the light's coming from the back, there should be lighting here, coming from this side, coming from the back over here, coming from the front. So alright, so that's light. It's like light shading. It's nothing crazy like my other edits, like my old edits. My old edits are a bit like too dense. So there's a bit of the shading. So we'll do some of the highlight, which is an overlay, and then we'll, you know, put that where we think there should be highlights. So, on the face as well, on the hat, and then on the nose, and obviously we need to do it on here as well to make it look realistic. Lighting on that. What I'm going to do is tilt this a little bit. Like so. There we go, looks a bit better. And then what I like to do is add a like highlight lines. So for example, I get a white color and just basically, actually wait, let me go on here and delete this part, right? Wait, let me make it, get rid of the eyebrows that are hanging off there and a bit of the hat. There we go. So we get rid of the eyebrows on the side and stuff like that. All the stuff that hangs off, like the add-ons for the face, like so. So the highlight lines, I get not a soft brush, I get quite a hard brush, and then I basically just add where I think the lines would, like highlight lines would come from, like from the from where all the lights are coming from on the picture. So like so. We add a bit of highlight on the chin and the jaw. Like so. Add a bit of highlight on the lip, on the nose. Above the eyebrow, like that, and then we do it obviously on the chains to give it like a realistic like light reflect. And you just do it all across. It kind of don't help the fact that you know, the background has white, so like it kind of blends in with the background, so it looks like it's kind of like deleted the stuff there, but we can just do some changes. So you just do that all across the parts where light would be coming from. And obviously you can play with opacities, you can do like filters and stuff. It's like so, we did the edges, and then where you think light could possibly come from also is like other places, like right here. Like that. And then I'll keep doing it on this side also. I bet there's probably faster ways of, like, you know, putting an outline on the avatar. There probably is. But this is how I do it. I just do it because it's just easier. So then obviously I will duplicate that layer by pressing Ctrl J. Or you can just right click on it and then it will say duplicate layer, but Ctrl J is just a faster way of doing it. And I get the bottom layer below the first. Go to blur, Gaussian blur. And then obviously blur it out a bit so it gives it a bit of a shine. And then you can just play with the opacities by lowering them. And obviously if you want to, you can go to change the colors to make it seem like the green that's in the background, which I'm going to try. Yeah, like that. That looks pretty cool. We can also do that with the overlay highlight, I think. Let's try. Yeah, so you can kind of like blend it in with the background. That's pretty cool. I'm kind of experimenting as well because I never really try this, so I'm just going doing stuff that I never would really do. And then obviously with this area right here, it's red. So we'd kind of like to change it around a bit. And also you can add like two highlight layers, so you can have the white highlight and then the green highlight. So it kind of helps with some parts that probably wouldn't show as green. Like so. And then you can add more shadowing as well, like more shading. like soft light shading, like I will do now. Just give it more of a harder like. Like so. And you can lower the opacity a bit. So I'll probably do it like 55. Like that. Like that. So let me lower the opacity for these. Wait, what? Oh, I thought it was the erase tool. So you can get rid of some lines that don't look right. Okay, so we get this highlight again. And obviously the help with this, you just need to can't do it like that. That's looking pretty good, to be fair. I'm a fan, I'm a fan. And what I like to do also to smoothen my avatar just a little bit more is I go to the quick selection tool, select the whole avatar, make sure that you're under the picture of your avatar, go to select, inverse, go back to select, modify, feather. I put mine on 5. Press OK and then press backspace, and what that'll do is smoothen out all of the edges. Like, it was smoothing out all the edges, as you can see here. It's kind of erased it a bit, like lowered the opacity on the edges just to make it a bit more smooth. So that's how I do that. what I should do is probably do another highlight one, but lower the opacity a little bit. Just lower it a little bit more. And obviously you can mess around with more of the darker highlights. Like so. That's looking nice. I'm liking this edit. Looking very good. Need to add some more smaller adjustments. So I say that's basically done. That's basically how I do my edits. So before, I'll show you the before. So that was the before, and this is the after. Maybe if we just group that and duplicate and move that one out. So this is the before and after. I'm going to tweak this obviously a bit more, not on the video, just make it a bit nicer, but this is basically how I do my edits. I didn't show you how to do everything entirely, but I showed you how to mess around with lighting, how to make stuff look cooler like, and how to blend stuff with the background. So the background's a certain color and you want it to look that way within the image, so it all blends together, looks like he's actually within that background. Then that's basically how I did that. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more Imvu videos in the future. I'm sorry I haven't been uploading much, but I have been ill this past week and a half, so I'll be making a lot more videos real soon, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.